call Lord Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai by Hashem Kakwadash. Unto this world, and he calls God in Jesus Christ in the ancient Paleo Hebrew tongues. Brother Anap and Yah from the Imminent camp. I give double honors to the elders, apostles, great millstone who rule well and teach well. And I'm tapping that to David, seeking out the elect in these last days. Shalom to the sincere Akim across the four corners of the earth, just pushing this truth, pushing this word in truth and sincerity. And shalom to the few Aquaf that watch and believe. Coming with a quick article, just a quick hit, man. I came across. Says FBI. It says FBI warns terrorism threat in America is at an all-time high following Hamas attack. Now, if people have been seeing that there have been more and more men coming across the borders from the UN, basically ready to suit up, so to speak. Now we know that tensions are rising between Iran and America, Russia and Israel, China and America. All these different countries are having tensions and basically in a war mindset. And there's a lot of chaos going on the other side of the world, man. These third world countries, of course, Israel and Gaza. Hamas and all that with these attacks, Iran, bombings in Syria from the U.S. Putin is on basically on standby and ready for anything. So that sets America out on alert. And what these Americans don't want is another 9/11. The masses don't want another 9/11. So what is that putting everybody in a frenzy? And we're having a lot of random attacks, random mass shootings and stuff. And this is ultimately going to lead into a shutdown. It's going to lead to different laws that's going to be passed within this last quarter of this year, of Esau's year, going into 2024. And these things are going to basically affect our lives. Because we're not going to be able to go out and the masses are not going to be able to go outside safely and comfortably anymore with all these tensions rising in the Middle East, which will have effects on our country as well due to what America, not even our country, America, Babylon, it will have effects on Babylon as well and the way we operate, the way this place operates, which will basically interfere with everybody's everyday life, man. So it says FBI warns terrorism threat in America is at an all-time high. Right. Because these other countries are now starting to infiltrate and get inside the borders of the unwalled villages, which is America. And like I said, this is gonna lead us into another shutdown, man. This is gonna lead to the masses frightened and scared, and going to ultimately lead us to martial law, another pandemic is going to probably roll out to scare people into locking people in the houses and the homes and stuff, man. And the prophets are probably going to be out the street at this time as well, So you can see that spiritually in the near future, within these next coming. Probably within the next 6 months, man, or whenever the Lord wills allow us to be off the corners, man. It says the terror threat against the U.S. reached a whole other level after Hamas sneak attack on Israel. FBI Director Christopher Wray told Congress on Tuesday, saying the big players in terrorism has all renewed calls to attack America and its interests. So they're openly giving threats to America, man. He said Al-Qaeda has issued its most specific call for attacks on the U.S. in years. Islamic State leaders ordered followers to attack the so-called Jewish communities. Hezbollah and its eyeing U.S. targets in the Middle East. Iran, meanwhile, has pushed proxy attacks on U.S. military bases. The reality is that the terrorism threat has been elevated throughout 2023, but the ongoing war in the Middle East has raised the threat of attack on America to a whole other level. Like I said, that is imminent. You know, we're really just kind of waiting for the next kind of big attack. Like, yeah, we see these mass shootings going on, but man, there's gonna be something massive coming, man. And if you don't see that spiritually, with all this coming, with all this going, all these rumors of wars and all these wars and all these tensions rising, you know, if you don't realize that, man, and man, you need to pay attention, man, and get with the program, man. You know, the martial law is imminent. The lockdown is imminent. You know, due to these, man. So this goes to show you that, yeah, we're definitely gonna go into a lockdown soon, man. You know, if not sooner. You know, your everyday life is not gonna be the same. You know, it's the 2 Ezra 15 and 14. It says, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh," right? The sword, which is Esau, and his destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. You've been seeing sedition and all through America, having these protests, riots. You seen Israeli man had a shooting at a protest. He was shooting up people at a protest earlier this week. You know, people fighting. You know, you had the WFI fighting against the fake Jews and the people at the protest, man. So you see sedition is here. So, you know, with sedition, you know what? Civil unrest. You know, on a mass level, man. Across all 50 states, man. For there shall be sedition amongst men, and invading one another. And they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and in the course of their power, actions shall stand in their power. Meaning they're not going to regard the law. You know, the law is not going to be able to control them, you know, in the midst of this, while this is happening, man. They're not going to care. And it said the course of their actions shall stand in their power, man. Yeah, man, whatever they may be doing, fighting, shooting, you know, riots, all types of stuff, man. And it says a man shall desire to go into a city and should not be able. You see? And that's what I'm saying. They're going to have to, they're all these things that are happening are raising more and more reasons to shut down and martial law down America, man. Lock down America, man. Babylon. It says, for because of their pride, cities shall be troubled, and the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. And that's right, man. You know, these cities are going to be all out chaos. And I just seen a video of a sister having a dream, Eve having a dream of the fall of Babylon, and she said in the dream she showed like everybody was just sad. You know, the economic state of America was just at an all-time low. People were, it was like 6 families to a one level house. You know, she remember people, you know, people just crowded up in houses, and people had to depend on one another. You know what I'm saying? In these houses, you know, of course, if you don't have the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua on you, you know, walking around, you know, out here lost without a clue. And that's right, as she said. But she said she remembered that everybody was just so sad, you know. And what else do we know that the scriptures tell us, man? This is what, the beginning of what do you say? The beginning of sorrows. You know, so it says 2 Ezra 16. It says in 17, woe is me who will deliver me in those days. You know, so these days coming are going to be a drastic change for people. You know, who's gonna take care of you if you don't have the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua on you, man? You know, when these riots out here, you women, when these riots out here, these men are out the streets and all this chaos is going on. It's terrorists out here in America, you know, might be snatching up women, raping them, beheading them, you know, because they just found an Israeli woman beheaded that Hamas kidnapped. So, you know, who's going to deliver you when that happens here? You know, and that's what it means in those days. Those days are the what? Jacob's trouble, man. It's that time of trouble that's coming, man. You know, in those days, which the Eve had seen in her dream, are the beginning of what? Verse 18, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear. and the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils come? That's right. What will you do when all these things come, man? You know, it's a lot going on, man, and people are still out here, like it says in the scriptures, in the days of Noah, partying, giving in marriage, you know, drinking, doing all types of things, like just not even a clue of what's going on, man. And it says, behold, famine, plague, and tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. You know what a scourge is? Corrections. Judgment for as in corrections, man. Something that corrects you, but it, you know, is by something happening to you, man. You know, but for all these things, they shall not turn away from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. Meaning that you're not mindful of the judgments that's going to happen or have been happening up until this time. You know, and that's pretty much it. I want a quick hit on that. Hopefully that was edifying. Until next time, shalom.